right.
Yeah, so you should be able to see that reflected now on the domain sheet.
See? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and now those things are available to do whenever you like. Remember, a lot of these things, it's like, well, most of them are dealing with the NPCs, so if there's stuff you want to do yourself, you can just do that like normal D&D.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Mhm. So how should we move forward from this point on?
I think planning the, let's call it a diplomatic mission to Flustervik for now would be the next step for us. Dev, I can't find the titles anymore. The missing.
If you go on, in the Browdervik domain, there's a tab called Officers. Should be in there.
I will get there. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, officers. Got it.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't finished the details for your one yet, Artrax, but that'll be there by next week.
No problem. Don't worry about it. You have a lot of it on your plate.
I've literally made at least 70 different factions that can now become embroiled in whatever the hell you guys do. So,
So we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
We absolutely do. I'm going to ask Dev, if you don't mind, to just take the title and just make her the Skald of Broderick.
just the skull.
Yeah. So the Valkyrie thing is, it feels a, yeah.
I mean,
I'm worried.
I
Yeah,
saw
I'm worried
you,
that.
so I said,
Yes, I mean, if you introduce yourself as priest, that immediately puts people in sort of a power imbalance. Like, I am the queen, the Jarl's advisor. Yeah, let's go with it. It will stick with that. What is Oder and the Jarl's kind of advice for dealing with the Flostervik remnants of the army?
well, they all would say they are not likely to be happy with us after we have so thoroughly defeated them. But Elson has been pushing them around for a long time. They might be happy to be rid of him. So we would have to find out who is stepping into Elson's place now that he is gone. I'm sure there are many who would seek to control Flostervik after everything that has happened. And the people of Nionem tend not to be the friendliest.
Okay, so what am I hearing is go and talk to them, but expect a frosty or aggressive response.
Well, definitely. I think if you sail into port, remember, we have slain many of their people today. There are sure to be some sons and wives that want revenge.
So this might be where the espionage actually comes. Interrogate or talk or ask some of the survivors, wounded prisoners, or just go and see if we can find out who was this Ailson. First question: was this Ailson bringing everybody together? Answer is probably yes. Were they coerced or were they misled? So, what is the reason they followed Ailson? Because I guess if we're wanting to play the politics He was clearly abundantly wrong, but it wasn't your fault because you were misled. Is a different going in as, hey, come on, you wanted to come and bully us, we kicked your butts, and now we want to be friends. So be friends, or we kick your butts again. See, so the feeling of how do we approach the conversation is different depending on what their willing participation in. Make sense?
He all nods. He seems to be on board. Is that like the way you think, Svenja? Again, I will leave this to you. The spy master that was here seems to have disappeared again, but they were in Flostervik before, and they may have ways of getting back in there if you want to send them ahead of you. Maybe they can find out some of that information. Maybe they can even tell us who's in charge.
That, I think that sounds like a good plan. Anybody else around that? Yeah, because I don't want to leave a power vacuum. There is no one in charge. Someone prefer that it is us. So this might have to be a really quick, not a deep spend months investigating. It have to be a really quick go and quickly see what the sense is and send a raven.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so you guys can make your first espionage check then, as you can send someone off, and probably Saga, who you guys, I don't think anyone even met her, but she's had her celebration and is going to be heading back.
Yeah, I do think Svenja tried to engage with her when she, but I seem to remember that she disappeared. It's like one of these, almost like a Pratchettian thing. Like if someone reminds you that she wasn't there, it's like, oh shit, yeah, now I remember. But unless you're reminded that she's around, you don't remember. That's how good she is at hiding.
Yeah, you would. Svenja might be the only one that actually in the group has had any real conversations with her, because you would know she was devoted to Loki, and she may have taken some a liking to you when you were younger. But I have heard from the player that she is not going to be rejoining us. She's not too keen on the combat and warfare stuff. But hopefully she'll stick around on the server and join us for something else down the line. But fair enough. Not every game is for every player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was coming in for more of a critical role than whatever the hell this is.
I mean, for me, it's just fine. It's just taste, You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah, no, of course, no hard feelings there. But she will be now an NPC spy that you may be able to interact with and knows their way around Flostervik.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is not. We're not actually in intrigue yet. That would be when you're kind of leading up towards a battle. But just to get some basic information, you can send someone off now, and whoever would like to make that check can either make an investigation or a stealth check. However, you only if you are. So it's with a +1. It's a D20 +1 because that's your espionage. And then if you're proficient in stealth or investigation, you can add your proficiency bonus to the roll. So it's whoever's giving the order will make that roll, but you're basically rolling for the NPC.
Okay, I'm going to propose that Svenja's got a +10 on investigation.
Ho, go for it, my man.
But that's the thing. So that's Svenja's investigation.
Yeah.
But you would still only be rolling with the +1 bonus from your for Browdovik, but you're clearly proficient, so you could add your proficiency bonus to that. So I think it makes it a +4.
Okay, got it.
So proficiency
why-
is +3.
Yeah, because if you had a +10, the defense scores that we are working with here would immediately become pointless.
Yeah. Makes
Okay. So proficiency +3, plus 1d20 plus. So let's do that. That would
Ooh,
be a 20,
very good
30.
roll.
Okay, so this you're essentially rolling against their resolve to see who's in charge if there's any chaos going on, and yeah, that you absolutely you feel like it's going well. So you will only get that information back within a week or so. You won't get it immediately, but over the next week, I'm now still trying to figure out how we're going to roleplay this. If we should just wait until that comes up and then I give you the information, or if I should just give you the information and it's like over the next week, this is what you learn. I feel like that's going to be easier, the second one.
Yeah, not having to keep track of parallel timelines is going to be easier. Certainly for you.
I think when we're out on expeditions, when time is passing like that, it will make more sense. Or if we're in intrigue, that'll be like a turn, which will take a week. But for now, we can say they have also just come here. They've probably got fresh information. So with that check, you will discover from some ravens over the next week as she heads out that it seems like the bear folk that you guys fought before. There were a couple of them. Dragnar was actually part of them, and maybe as part of this check, some interrogation with him reveals some of this information as well. But that they are now being ruled by someone who calls themselves the Bear King. That he has taken the reins of Flostervik, and he seems to have moved in fast, like he was prepared to do so before. You guys already know that Aelson was cursed to live beneath the sea and could only walk on the surface during a full moon. So someone has been running Flostervik this whole time, and it seems like the Bear King that was doing so has immediately just taken over as soon as Aelson died. So their troops that are returning are going to be returning to the Bearhold Fortress, is what he calls it. There is a sturdy stone fortress that he's sitting in Braudevik, where he is ruling from now.
Sorry, palace called the Bearhold.
The Bearhold Fortress. It is. I'll give you this information here in the chat.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeoman's sorry, Yeoman's father would also offer up the information that he has traded with Flostvik in the past. So if you need to know anything about, or if you need a way into their markets, to let him know. He really seems like he's trying to like make up for some mistakes in his past, as Odor is still pissed with him, but he's there to help if you need any traders assistance.
Okay. I mean, how deep do you guys want to go into the the Game of Thrones intrigue stuff. Because I think Sonia's working towards what is our plan here. If they are in really heavily fortified stone keep, although the army is depleted, they are not actually as vulnerable as we were because we don't actually have stone walls and things like that. That might be something we should get some people to start investigating in buildings.
Yeah.
Defensible, central, I don't know what courtyard keep, something like that. If he is in a strong position where on his home, then diplomacy might be a better thing, but that would then be talk to the various traders and the merchants. I don't know that she can pretend to just be her mother's daughter working in a mother's weaver's stall in the market. Like too many people have seen the Valkyrie thing. But she would still go back to her old haunts of trying to talk to all the merchants and travelers about what stories they have as part of the information gathering. The objective is to find out how strong the Bear King really is and how strong he sees himself to be. Because if he thinks he's in a very powerful position, he's going to be less keen to negotiate. So that's kind of what she's trying to find out.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a very smart way of playing it. So maybe we could try and do that. In my mind, at least.
Are you guys all sitting around your table in the longhouse as you kind of looking over the map and plotting?
Yeah. Oh. I don't know. So we would have to see what his kind of perspectives are for Flavstovik. I mean, if he probably sees us as enemies. I mean, I don't know that much about the all of the game so far, but still, from what I gathered, he won't be friendly.
Yeah, they do have a lot to pay for. I mean, arguably, we could go out there and raid them in revenge because if I remember correctly, they were actually the people that poisoned the river upstream, which is one of our early indications that they are trying to weaken us. So there is sufficient space for revenge or sufficient reason for revenge. Not that Vikings need a reason for revenge, like the other
Yeah,
side,
no, I
the
get you.
axe is good enough. So I'm wondering. So I guess there's three options for the next step. The one is we can go there and seek an audience with him. The second is we can summon him to Brodovik. And the third is to meet in some sort of neutral ground.
Like a
Which
middle
removes
ground.
his physical advantage. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so okay, they're on the other side of the sea, so there's not really a let's meet in the middle of the sea thing.
Yeah.
I'll take you to the map so you can see what you're dealing with.
Ish. Mine's doing weird shit again. Let's do the military management. I am wondering if it's the Firefox browser because it's stopping the pop-ups and shit.
Firefox has never worked. That's
me,
usually the problem.
This is new shit that it's coming up with.
Let me reload. Maybe it's gonna fix.
Is it just dark? Like, do you just not have vision?
I do have vision, but it's gray. The map is all gray.
Yeah, that may be the effect. It's not-
Okay.
That
So
might be.
it's supposed to be like that.
yeah, I can
Oh.
turn it off if it's.
No. Sorry, I thought it was my bad.
There's a,
Sorry.
there's a color now.
Yeah, I could see colors for a brief moment.
Okay, I turned them off.
I enjoyed the moment of color in my life. Yeah. But yeah, for me, the best options from the three we've mentioned, Svenja, would be the second or even the third would sound interesting. Because if he were to challenge us to some sort of, I don't know, duel or honorable combat to prove we are worthy or he's worthy or stuff like that, we would have at least the neutral ground. Like, I don't know how often that would happen, but still, could be taken into account.
Okay. Forge is just completely killed. Nice Forge. Let's see what Crow is. Sorry, I can't see Mac. Mikkel still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Thoughts from you?
Yeah.
I think Atrix idea was good.
Okay.
We're also going to have to prepare for the actual journey. Are there any things that Mikhail's got in mind for? I mean, he seems to be the one that might have some things to prep before you actually leave.
Ooh. So trip for philosophy.
Because you guys have also got some downtime now, so if you wanted to spend some time before you actually set sail and do some things, whether that's more of the intrigue kind of stuff from Bradovic or there's preparations that need to be made, there is time. You've just kind of, that the time pressure is that by the end of summer, you're going to need to have brought something back to Bradovic. Otherwise, Bradovic's going to be kind of screwed in the winter. But yeah, that's still a long way away.
Yeah.
So what we would prepare for a conversation like this would be what, a couple of long ships with warriors on it. I think in this settlement we only have Gorm's ship and the Jarls as resources. Okay, it is my computer that does not want to play nicely today. Come on, computer.
Are you trying to sail a whole fleet to Clusterman?
No, not a whole fleet, but okay. I guess we can fill a longship. Goes into a longship.
So you can fit as many units. You'll also should be able to see longship in the journals in where are they? I don't know, items maybe. Yeah, if you look in items, you should see establishments there and strongholds, and you'll see a longship is one of those strongholds. So during intrigue, you can raise units at a longship, but a longship can only carry an amount of units equal to its level. So like Gorm's longship currently is level 1, which means it can take 1 unit with it. A level 5 longship would be the ultimate that can take 5 units, but it can be any kind of unit. They just can't be bigger than a D6 in size. So you are quite limited on how much you can bring. That's why a whole fleet is often necessary. But yeah, you do have Gorm's longship. You have the Jarl's longship, which is a level 3 that his son sails, and you may be able to salvage maybe 1 or 2 from, I can't remember which ones are left, but there may be 1 or 2 that you can salvage that from the ones that sailed here for the raid.
Mhm.
Okay, I am seeing. Oh, there we go. I can see the map. Chrome. Fucking Firefox. Okay, so let's turn off enhanced tracking protection.
So for now, as I understand, your plan is to just set sail, just you guys to go and sort of investigate Klostervik and see what's happening there. Just you guys yourselves, or are you planning a sort of a raid on them?
What are the other guys thinking? I'm not
Well,
thinking right.
From the ideas that were presented, I thought that the idea of meeting in like a neutral area with this Bear King would be better without any. I'm not sure if that will be exactly better, but
Oh yeah, I missed that part. Sorry.
I mean, the problem with that is that Vikings don't really do diplomacy. Like, they've tried to raid us. They attempted and they failed. Like, the only way I see Flustervik even remotely surviving is if we capitulate them.
Mhm.
And if not, we just raise it. We'll just go on.
No, I can now actually see. No, we're talking about Flustervik all the time. There is the small problem that Skakutaker is between us and Flustervik if you go
Yeah, I can see it.
by land.
So if you go by land, like we could
Yeah.
sail like they did.
No, so we can sail, but if we're thinking about adjacent territory as the way to expand, I don't know if there's other ways to expand, but let's go for the territory next to us. And Skakutoku might be a better next target. We
I
kind
should
of
also point out that you're talking about expanding, but I mean, you can try and take over a place and then rule it yourself. But generally, with this, the idea is to kind of develop Browderbeck, which would make your zone of influence larger. And if you had defeated them, it would make theirs smaller. So every time you get into an intrigue, you might defeat their leader, but someone will step in to fill that gap, and the place will keep on going unless you like brought them down to tiny and then just destroyed them. That could be a leader that you impose. Like there's a lot of ways to sort of keep control or make them allies, but the idea is not really for you guys to own all of these places that you are controlling. You absolutely can try and do that, but it's much easier to make allies of those people, and then you are the the bigger fish in the pond that they're not going to mess with you, even though they're on your land, kind of thing.
Okay. So Mikkel makes a good point that Vikings don't have a peace mission with diplomatic immunity.
No, like the closest you can have to that is like us having non-aggression pacts or alliances with other Jarldoms. That's typically done through political marriage. So
Mhm. I mean, the second idea would also be interesting, like to call the bear king to our establishment, to Braudavik, and if he doesn't respond, we can just go over him. Like give him a chance to try and, like you said, bend the knee, and if he doesn't do it, then we can, force an agreement.
I mean, once again, I think you can certainly try, but I don't think this is ending until one of us is dead.
Yeah, probably. I don't know his modus operandi or how he decides on things, but yeah.
It does seem for now like the conflict with Klostervik is kind of over. Like it doesn't seem like their immediate intentions are to raid you again, but there's obviously no way of actually knowing what their intentions are. But that fight is over. Like you won that one. So, and they probably get the message. But yeah, if you want to try and go over there and make sure that they got the message, there's many ways to do that. But yeah, someone's going to have to, like, if you want to get that kind of a message to the king, you're either going to have to send someone to actually do that, or just go there yourselves and demand an audience.
You see, I don't see that as being the proper way, because if we've defeated them, I mean, in the battle that in the which they attacked us, to go there and ask for an audience, I don't know, it could be seen as an act of weakness to some degree, especially in Viking culture, I think. So I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, there's definitely some power plays to be had. I just mean it kind of like, bear in mind, sending a messenger is going. There's like, you can send a messenger or you can go rock up to their doorstep. Sends very different messages.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's very true. Well, there's three of us. We can vote for either option. I guess use the democracy in action. I don't know. Either way to it can work, but I don't know another way to decide.
So what is your preferred, Atrix's preferred out? And Mikkel, what is Mikkel's preferred out? I'm not concerned, but I'm aware that Svenja, as the talker, wants to talk.
Yeah. I would go ahead, Mikkel. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be the smartest thing, but like purely from an honor perspective, they've trampled on our honor. So it isn't necessarily the smartest choice, but to withhold our honor, we do need to counterattack. At least make them pay.
They'll get inspiration for doing things for the sake of honor.
I mean, that's what we live and breathe on. Honor. Might as well kill myself if I didn't have any honor. But that in and of itself would be honorless. So,
Okay. So, Mikkel, are you saying we should mount an entire raid on them?
I think we should have his head. Yes.
Hmm. Atrax would want to approach it in a different manner slightly. He would want to give him a chance to come forward and like give a chance for proving his allegiance. So I would first vote to ask him to come personally and swear an allegiance to Braudevik. And if he does not respond within reasonable amount of time, then we act as Mikil said. That's what I would vote for Atrax or whatever.
Okay, happy to go with that. Democracy, 2 versus 1. So we're going to summon him to Brodovik and feed them. And we're going to go over there and said, we said come to a place. Make us come here, but now we are here. It's not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that calls for a diplomacy check if you're sending someone to summon him.
Essentially, yeah.
So yeah, who wants to make either an insight or persuasion if you have
I
proficiency
think
in
I have
those?
perception. I think I have persuasion as a proficient skill.
Okay, so then you've got a +3 plus your proficiency.
So okay, can I do it then?
Yeah, and tell me how you are sending the summons. Like,
Okay.
yeah, are you sending
So
a
we would kind of tell them or train them, quote unquote, to be firm on his on his guard in case something wrong happens. Just flee as soon as possible, and be firm yet not too aggressive. Just try to send the message in a direct and, like I said, firm way that we are the kind of the authority right now, and we can make things happen in a good way or in a bad way, depending on how you react to this message. So something like that in my mind.
Okay, but who are you actually, like, how are you getting that message to them? To
Who are we sending? Okay.
So like that's the message that you're sending. But how are you getting it there? Are you just sending because as we were saying, that can give a very different impression. Are you sending an actual human to go and do that? Are you sending a raven or?
Personally, if I were to send a human, I mean a person, to the Berking's
Emissary,
household.
I think that's the word.
Emissary, yeah. If I mean, there are two chances. Either he kind of gives in and comes with the emissary back, and he or whatever comes to Braudevik in due time, or probably he will send us a message by killing the emissary. So there's a bit of a risk at play there, and I would want to limit our losses, so I would rather go with Raven.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, shoot. What's the question?
Do we have Ailson's body, specifically his head?
Oh
no, there is nothing left of Ailson.
Okay.
Other than his spear that Sven is carrying.
Do we have any of the chiefs, any of the commanders left from the battle? Like just any corpse?
Oh yeah, you would probably have gotten the heads of their previous lieutenant.
Okay,
and you've also got one of the leaders of the bear folk that attacked is a prisoner that you have. Ragnar was fighting with the bear folk, and he's the last surviving member of theirs.
Okay, I say we send an emissary. Obviously bodyguards with him. But before
Mhm.
that, we round up all the heads, kill the bear folk, also his head, and then we bring the heads and give them to the leader, along with a strongly worded message that he should suffer the consequences for attacking Broadway. And he can either come willingly or we come to him.
I mean, that will work, yeah.
Yeah, the don't make us come to your place message.
So we're doing him the service of sending an emissary to tell him to come to us.
Yeah.
And that
Would
should
work.
show him that our mercy only reaches so far, only goes so far. Because once again, this is a matter of honor. We cannot be taken lightly, especially not if you want to expand.
Yeah. That works for me.
Me too.
Okay, so can we send? Could you actually send in the chat? Just
The role.
well, yeah, the role for. I mean, diplomacy. I'd say you could make this one an intimidation as well, if that's what you're going for. What proficiency?
I don't have proficiency in intimidation, so
I mean, it's fine.
cannot do.
It's either or. But
Okay.
I mean, you're just. This is more your ability to communicate this to the emissary that you're sending, because now, yeah, you said you wanted to send a raven, but are you sending like a? You just need a big raven to carry
No.
heads,
I
or are
think
you sending?
he said that we're gonna send like a full like diplomatic corps, like with an
Yeah.
emissary, with guards, and with the heads of the fallen enemies, if I'm not mistaken.
Enemies from the raid, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes.
So should I roll?
So yeah, you can make that roll. But then also, if you could put the, yeah, I mean, we don't have to get into the details of it. But I think I get the message you're trying to send. But just to be clear, are you sending their own people back as the emissary?
No.
Like, it's the prisoners that you took, but holding the heads of their commanders, or are you sending one of your own people with the heads?
We'll be sending one of our own people with the heads. None of the prisoners should come back to Flusterlake alive. And I mean none.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, it was just a misunderstanding. So does that mean that you're going to execute Ragnar?
I mean, unless anyone has any objections.
I would rather like to hear what his I said, because we left her the previous evening. She gave Svenja something and then said she needs time to think. So I'd rather let that play out.
Okay, I
Well,
guess we can just.
Milmir is sitting next to you guys. I mean, she's not far away, and you can see her kind of like scowling over her. She seems to be the only one not celebrating, as she is just angrily drinking mead.
I mean, we could also just ignore the existence of Ragnar for now.
Well, he knows more about this king than anybody of us because we served him, right? So he'd be a good source. Let's start with talk to Neil. You seem to be a little bit upset about something.
She kind of just seems to have been eavesdropping as And she looks at you and she says, I don't care if you kill him. I hope you make it stick. But before you do, go sail over to Flostovik and kill one of his sons so that I can get my revenge for my dear Ursula. If you go there, you kill one of his sons, find his new family. I'll give you the key to the Thor's Thunder Hall, and then you can do the same for him.
That does not sound. I mean, what would you need that death to be like in order to feel vindicated?
Didn't care how it's done. I just want him to suffer like I've suffered.
What I'm hearing is a blood eagle.
So you can make it coming through very quiet.
So what I'm hearing is a blood eagle.
Oh, I'd like that. I'd like that very much. We can do that to him too if you want.
That would be
I
lovely.
suppose even in the afterlife, whatever the realm he's dragged into, he'll know what happens to his sons there as well.
He was a valuable leader, right? He was one of the lieutenants. I mean,
I can't tell you that. Last time I saw him was out at sea. I thought he was dead until you brought him to me. You'd have to ask him yourself.
yeah, I think he's more useful to us alive than dead. Prisoner exchange bargaining and so forth. So the reason she asked the question is that she's more comfortable with the idea of calling one of his sons to sort of one-on-one combat to the death than just sneaking in and murdering him or sort of executing him or something like that. Because at the end of it, it's not something Boy did, it's something his father did. So it's meant to be cruel. That's the entire purpose of killing one of his sons. So, and she gets that. So she'll say to Neil, I get why you're feeling. But I personally would not want to have that blood on my hands. I mean, fuck's sake, I'm a Valkyrie. My job is to find brave warriors and help them get to Valhalla. This feels dirty for Svenja, so she's not keen on that idea. To do it herself. She's not going to stand in anybody's way to do it if that's what they decide, but she would prefer to not have any part of it. Unless that is part of the conversation with the Bear Kings. Bring this out. We've got a hostage for you. Bring the sun. This is almost like a, what is it, Theon Ironjoy or something like that thing. Nobles exchanging sons in the various houses as a lever. Theon, what's the guy? Yeah, anyway, okay.
Theon Greyjoy.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, geez, if you you turn Ragnar into Theon, that's more intense than I thought this campaign was going to get. But I'm glad to see that Game of Thrones ideas are already cooking.
Yeah, I'm not going to go all the way to that particular part if that's what. But
No, we've all got our line.
I'm not against the idea of having a political prisoner exchange lever is.
Have you made the roll
So-
yet, by the way? Sorry, I just...
No, I was waiting for
Okay.
the decision to be made. Like, is it established the way we're sending people, or so? I just make the roll then.
Yeah, I think it's established. Let's send the person with the heads. The message says,
Okay.
come to us. The or else could be implicitly there is a head on the, well, there's something coming your way if you don't. So 15, that's nice.
It was diplomacy, so +3 from diplomacy and +3 for my proficiency in persuasion, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this one you will find out in a week, as it is going to take some time for your emissary to travel. They will get ready to leave in the morning, so they will take the heads of the other leaders of the units that you guys killed, uh, mainly the raiders from Flostervik, but the last living bear folk leader is still in your captivity, so it's up to you what you still want to do with him, but you'll sort of have until the morning to decide whether his head's on that boat as well, or if you're going to help Milmir. But yeah, you will have an emissary sending off, and he should be back, or you should be able to hear back from him in about a week.
Okay.
I think, yeah, you might get a raven back in a week. He'd probably take 2 weeks to get there and back physically. But yeah, if you haven't received a raven a week from now, probably not good for him.
Yeah. Can we also set up that the emissary, him herself, has to send us a raven every day as proof of life?
Yeah, we can do that. So now, to remember all of these things, there is an action log on the Brodovik character sheet, so we can actually put in what you guys.
Okay. Who wants to write?
So I'm adding one. What is the? Yeah, sorry. This is I'm still getting used to doing this as well, so should speed up as we go. But the sent an emissary to Glostervik is there.
Yeah.
Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Bear with me. Trying to get young computer to behave.
Well. Sorry, you want to say something, Deb?
Nope.
No, sorry. Nothing. I was talking to myself.
Okay. So, Atrax would actually want to have like a small, not small, but like a short amount of time spent with the Jarl, like between four eyes, just them to talk with the private about the private matter. Would that be possible?
Yeah, sorry, with who? Yeah.
With the Jarl, with Jarl Niklas.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
yeah.
or what's his name?
Jarl Nicholas.
Okay.
Yeah, he would be there, sort of enjoying the evening as it's starting to wind down a bit now. It's about 10:30 at night.
Mm-hmm. I would try to find a moment in which the Jarl would be like sort of alone, trying to kind of get his attention and then swoop in and try to kind of speak with him for a moment.
Yeah, you'd be able to easily speak with him in the sort of back room there where he was showing you. It's kind of the war room, where he's got these kinds of maps that you're looking at now. And yeah, throughout the night you'd be able to find him there. It's just the two of you.
Okay.
I'm glad that you have joined us, my friend. It's been a long time coming that our people should work together. I hope it will be a fruitful partnership. Huh?
I can definitely say so that I am of the same sentiment, Jarl Niklas. And I am terribly joyful that I was able to provide you with, well, good enough performance in the battlefield, at least for the last battle. These old bones and muscles still prove worthy of Tyr's calls, of Tyr's calls. How do you pronounce the god's name, by the way? Tyr or Tyr?
Tyr. That's
Tyr,
how we all
okay.
say it. Anyway.
Okay, got it. Tyr. But I do have a small, well, then he kind of gets lost between his words for a few seconds. A small issue, a small personal problem that grows and destroys my heart every day. And I come to you with the utmost, I don't know what even to say at this point. Desire to be helped. And he looks kind of a bit scared into the Jarl's eyes.
But don't be shy, my friend. You are one of us now, and we help our own. Those that you have been talking to tonight, I'm sure they have many tales they could tell you of saving each other's asses over the years. But if you have a problem, bring it to us and we will be happy to help you with it, especially after what you have done for us here.
Understood. You treat your people well, then I take it. That's wonderful. Even more reasons to believe that our alliance, if it will be fruitful, if it were to happen, 100% will be fruitful. Well, in that case, have you heard of the hags of Elder Twist?
Oh, of course, I wish that I hadn't. But I'm afraid I have never had the misfortune of coming close to them. I have heard tales of the northern forests being plagued by them, some odd poems and that sort of thing, but what is it? Have they got you in a bad deal? And he kind of
Well,
looks at you like he seems to be looking at your Leonin features. It's clearly not often that Leonin come into Browdevik, and it seems almost like he's wondering if you're cursed, even though he knows where you come from.
yeah. It's not about myself necessarily. It's in a way related to me. Well, my family, my dear wife and child have been taken away by these creatures of the night, by these witches. They have stolen their whole beings. That they are, and usually Atrax wouldn't be like this frail or emotional, but he's kind of having a moment, so he kind of stutters a bit. I don't know what to say. I would want help in getting them back, finding a way to restore them. I've managed to gather information about this spirit called Malgrim the Possessor, and I feel that there's a way of getting them back, and through him we should be able to do it. But sorry, I'm getting lost in the details. I don't know what to say.
Odin's beard, my friend, this is a terrible situation you find yourself in. My heart is heavy for you.
Thank
But
you.
Bradovik's resources are at your disposal. If you would like us to have a look into these hags, I'm sure the satyr of the tower and a few of our friends could help. Maybe you could speak with Ingrid. She is no stranger to the magics of the wilds. Otherwise, Svenja and Mikil, Gorm, their whole crew there, Camilla herself has perhaps had some dealings with hags. They are all
Understood.
Capable warriors, and I'm afraid my adventuring days are behind me now.
He
But speak
nods.
with them, tell them your story, and I'm sure they would be glad to help. I will let you know if I hear anything of these hags, and we will not let you
Understood.
keep your daughter and beloved for long. I swear it.
Yes.
And he kind of
Oh,
taps on his armoring as he like promises that he will help you with it.
he does. Atrax kind of does the same, but slower. May the gods watch over us then in this endeavor. He would thank the Jarl, and then he would go. Actually, he would go straight for the table of Mikil and Svenja. And as you can see, the Leonin is a bit more like he looks quite affected by something. And he sits down, and as he does so, he kind of wants to interrupt for a moment, just for a second, if you guys would let him. And he would kind of tell you the whole problem that he has about how the hags, or at least what he knows, is that he saw some sort of ritual in a place called, give me 1 second because I have it right here. I think it's called oh my god, sorry, Whispering Glade, the Whispering Glade. So he would be asking you to, at one point in the future, after we're done with the whole problem with Flostavik and stuff like that, if you could help him retrieving his son and wife from these hags. In short, he needs your help. At one point, I mean, he doesn't want to impose anything. He doesn't want to force anybody to do anything. He would just ask for maybe information or stuff like that. If you know anything about the hags, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so Svenja is a definite yes on that. And I guess we can get our exchange students in the library and the tree houses to find anything we want to know about lore in terms of defeating hags. If we do some prep and research for that, That might be the
Mhm.
thing that is not a bad idea to do. I can't see the Whispering Glade on the map.
And no, that isn't on the map. That's one of the establishments of in their domain. So you don't know. You would see there where the hags of Elder Twist are.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in that area. But you would know that that's north of the map that we've been working on before. That's kind of further than the hot springs where you guys fought the ninjas. It's kind of a little bit further north than that. It's in those forests somewhere. So you would probably be able to find your way there, Atrax, but you don't have it mapped out. You'd have to
Yeah,
search
I know,
for
I
it.
know. I get you.
But that's
Right.
also probably closer to your home domain, which is to the east there. So it's probably somewhere between the Seder Tower and where the hags are, in that
Mhm.
area somewhere.
Okay, I see. Yeah. We saw the ping.
So
Well,
yeah, you could definitely, like, you could make some, espionage checks and things to try and find a specific place. But yeah, a law check to try and figure out how to kill a hag might not be a bad idea, or just anything, any information about hag. But also, if you guys want to see what information you already know, because this is quite close to home, you guys may have some information yourselves about this. You can still make like regular history checks and things.
okay, let me do a history then, just so
I mean, you've kind of got the information that I've given you.
Okay, sorry. My
You
bad.
you can search for more with that, absolutely. But like, I've given you the gist of what you would know.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
Mikhail had some dealing with hags at some point as well. I feel like I remember you and hags, something about.
I think I might have, but I don't remember.
I remember you saying the word hag. Maybe you just met an old lady and were being rude.
That could have been true, honestly. Like that sounds like me.
Might have just been slinging insults in battle. I don't know, because I don't think we fought any actual hag.
Yeah, the insults more. So, gentlemen, I must tell you that I was awake at 2 o'clock this morning, busy fading really fast right now. So I am going to propose, with great feelings of guilt, that we maybe wrap it up pretty soonish if we could. Or you guys can continue, but I am nodding off here behind my computer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do have a smaller group tonight. I'm happy to say another half hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can take a quick break if you want to try grab some coffee or something.
I am actually drinking coffee. I think I'm caffeine intervention limit.
Only works so far, but that's cool. We'll yeah, don't worry if you do need to drop out. We can start wrapping it up, but next week hopefully we'll have a full party and we can actually begin your next stage of the journey. But yeah, this is kind of the planning stage anyway, so we'll give it another half hour and yeah, no pressure.
So, if it's possible, I would like to make the suggestion to make a role for discovering more about the hags, like you said, maybe lore or espionage. For example, you said espionage would be used more for finding about their forces, like how much, like how many units they have, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like maybe who their lieutenants are, like the, things like that. Key players, who the actual hags are, because I mean, you know of the hags, but I don't think you have much information about them.
Yeah, no, not at all. I would turn towards Svenja. She seems quite formidable with investigation, and ask her counsel on this if she could possibly send someone to gather more information about the hags.
Yep, happy to do that. She actually has expertise in it, so the old favorite thing. Yeah, what can we find in the treehouse libraries? What do the druids there know? Because they would possibly be able to help us fairly quickly. We actually now have fast travel to the Cedar Tower, don't we? So we can basically go and talk to any of those pretty much at will.
Yeah, they are now considered part of your domain. I'm not going to make separate factions for them because they are basically just Bradovik, extensions of Bradovik.
Yeah, and we'll have Mimed's help with the little dragon thingies in the roots. Travel through the trees.
Yeah, they also count as a tower, so like you could go to the Sadia Tower and like create or research a new spell if you wanted. Like there are things that you can actually use them for, but yeah, for lore is a pretty big one. And I'd say if you've got expertise, if you're the one doing it, you can definitely add then double your proficiency. Like you could use the expertise, not just proficiency.
Okay, so
for the espionage.
Yeah, that's investigation or stealth. So
God damn it, where is it? So it's a 3, so 1d20 plus 6. So let's see what that rolls for us. 24.
I think espionage is only +1. So it's -2, but it's still 22.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. Yeah, so you would find out that it is, first of all, the Hags of Elder Twist are a coven of hags, which you would learn is always 3 hags. Any more than that, and it gets very messy. But there are 3 hag sisters, and they have got. Yeah, you would know that there are the 3 main hags, but that they have got 2 lieutenants. One called Malgrim the Possessor, who Artrax has already told you about, and there is another one called Ezrava Shadowclaw, who, when you learn this, Artrax, you would also recognize the name Shadowclaw as being a particularly pesky faction of Tabaxi and Leonin.
The Marauders, right?
I will send you that in the chat. So yeah, you don't manage to gain any information on the hags themselves, but because they are a very secretive coven, but you would know that those are their 2 lieutenants.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much what you would get with that first check.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have read now Revenge's quest log, so Nilma's quest. She would like to have a conversation with Ragnar about Nilma's response, because he was hoping for a happy reunion. That clearly didn't happen. Oh, and by the way, the thing that she gave Svenja when she came out of the forge and then saw Ragnar, what was that? Was it too early to do a reveal?
No, that is the key. She would explain that is the thunder key that should unlock Thor's Hall. But in order to activate it, you will need to know the right runes, and she will teach you those runes if you kill one of Ragnar's sons in Flostervik. And then she wants you to use that key to go and kill one of Thor's sons, which would obviously be a much more difficult task. But she seems to think that that key she has built, and that's what she's been working on. Like while the whole raid was going on, she's been working on that since you last spoke to her, basically, like before the raid. And she seems to have figured out a dwarven trick to unlock Thor's Hall.
Yeah, let's go kill the god of thunder, one of his sons. This just has not a good idea written all over it, but yeah. Okay, so that's the key. We have to activate it if we want to go do that quest.
You will also see as the night is really winding down and people are starting to filter out of the tavern. You will see one of the patrons from the other longhouse where most of the rest of the armies were partying. Like this is where all the officers party, where you guys are, but everyone else is in another longhouse. And you would see that a lot of them are wandering out of their tavern as well. But a lot of them look like they've been in even a worse fight than the guys that you were in a fight with. Those bar brawls that broke out, you would see in front of the other tavern a bunch of bodies just kind of passed out that have been dragged outside, and you would notice that Torg is busy chatting to two of the girls from Bradovik. He seems to be like hitting on the two of them, this tiny little treant that everyone seems to be in love with, and it seems like he beat up everyone at the other tavern. The bar fight seems to have spread out there, and you can see that Tog took care of it. And yeah, you would hear someone as the quest there. You'd hear someone walking into your tavern just saying, "Little guy took on a whole longhouse brawl by himself and won. Can't imagine what he'd be capable of if he was fully grown." As one of the dwarves kind of walks past.
Escort quest. So the reclamation march is a bit of a detour, but yeah, he might be quite happy. Oh, he doesn't actually speak.
He does. You can hear him saying, "I am Torg."
Beautiful.
This I will say this is actually a player character. One of the players' characters, but it was a temporary character that is now maybe one of my favorite NPCs. So
Awesome.
yeah, you can see he is clearly in. I mean, I'm sure you guys all get the reference, but he is clearly in this tiny form. He has seen battle, and this is what's left of him. Some of you may have been there when he was regrown from a finger, but you can see that he would do much better back in his home.
Yeah. I mean, would I don't want to steal the spotlight or anything. I just have this question and that's it. Would Atrax know of Torg or anything, or
You would know that he came with you and the druids. He would have been part of
right?
and you would know that. Oh, actually, you probably would have seen him grown from a finger because they regrew this Torg when during the travel from the Sadir Tower to Braudavik. You made your way through a tree, which is Yggdrasil. We haven't even brought that part up yet. But while you were passing through the tree, kind of God of War style, they planted a finger and it grew into this baby Torg that is with you now. But he joined in the battle. This is a powerful and potentially immortal creature that currently is just a little itty bitty swamp thing.
Mm. I look at Mikhail and Svenja. So should we also try and assist our little friend?
Yeah, it just sounds too simple to be simple. So the too good to be true test hitting me as a player here, but yeah, absolutely. So returning him Flostavik, the hags, and then a decision about Ragnar and the Thunder Key. It's kind of where we are right now. So Svenja is sort of chewing over Newman's story. She will, whilst we wait for the info to come back, sort of in between in the week, try and get the truth out of Ragnar about what he believed and experienced and had done, and why he served Elson in Flostavik, etc. But that is that kind of the four quests for us for next week? Is we're going to do some or all of the above?
Well, these are just kind of some quests that you could potentially follow. We're sort of in a stage to begin your next expedition and see where you guys want to travel to next. But yeah, these are some things that you guys could set out to do. There are obviously going to be many things along the way that could happen, and you could get completely distracted. But you guys are going to be planning an expedition of where to go next. So yeah, that might be determined by what happens with the emissary you sent. If you want to wait in Braudavik, it seems like you're doing quite a few things in this week. So you'll probably be leaving at the end of the week, but it's up to you guys where you want to go.
We can theoretically go to the Reclaim Marsh Swamp thing and back in a week, right?
Yeah, fairly easily. Now that you've got the longship, you can travel along the rivers, which will speed your travel up. Like on the map that you're looking at now, you'll be able to move much faster using the rivers.
So anybody up for taking Torg home while we wait for the? I know we said no parallel timelines, but
No, that is the point of this system, to send, like, there's people doing stuff in the background while you guys are adventuring. Like Radovik's doing things, the NPCs are busy, but you guys are playing normal D&D.
It's like what the Sims are doing whilst your computer is off at night.
What the DM is doing while the rest of you not perfect.
Yeah. Well, who should we send him with?
I'd like to go to the swamp myself, actually. So this feels like if nothing else, to give Devon an opportunity to do weird voices.
Oh, awesome!
Imagine the DM
Don't give him
for an entire session saying, "I am Torg. I am Torg."
Okay, yeah.
Hopefully Gorm comes back so he can play his own character. It's great
Oh
fun.
my god.
Yeah, Artrax, you would also know that the Reclamation March is probably within the Hag's territory. So there's
Oh, two birds with one stone.
yeah, all of these things are there's going to be ways to find information and things while you are doing these kinds of quests. So don't feel limited by the quest log. Those are just some
Mhm.
starters. It could go much wilder. But yeah,
Well, yeah.
hags and marshes go together like trying to think of a Viking. Vikings and long
Ale and fighting.
axes and shields. Yeah, there's
Spears and shields, yeah. Well, I would also. I mean, I think we can go together to the reclamation march then.
Sweet.
If there's no opposition from Deb, of course.
No,
I'm
he's
not gonna
also
oppose
happy
you.
if we make up our minds, except we usually change them later.
You've got a boat now. You can. The whole world is open to you.
Nice.
That's why I've been making all these factions. You can literally go wherever the hell you want. I will have story for you to find. So please,
Amazing.
this is proper
Open world
open world.
D&D.
Okay. Then, what do you think, Mikhail?
Well, going to the swamp sounds kind of fun, especially making Devon speak in funny voices.
Torg gives you little branch-like finger guns from across. I am too.
Oh, my
I'm
word.
starting to loving it already.
Okay, gentlemen, I really am going to say thank you very, very drop
Yeah, no
off
worries.
now. Please continue to chat if you want to, but I am struggling here and I do have to go work again tomorrow. So thank you for a fabulous evening. Thanks for coming back, Alex. It's nice having you. So
Thank you.
and thanks for the prep work.
Yeah,
We shall see
absolutely.
you next. What the fuck is this cat doing here? My cat has got zoomies. Okay, bye.
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 Oh, well,
Yeah.
but yeah, thanks for the game. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously not going to get into any like actual exploration and stuff.
Yeah. Of course.
I'll still be on for a while, so you guys can feel free to keep going however long you want. Because I do want to know what Mikhail's sort of plans are. I feel like Smith, the blacksmith thing is like there's so much potential, but at the same time it's such a vague kind of like, are you going to build shit? Are you going to go look for things to build? Are you going to go look for like magical ore? Or are you like this?
The answer is yes.
To all of this.
Yeah, so now there's somewhere where a lore check could come in if you want to see like, is there any crazy shit that might be hidden in the marsh that like the tree folk might know about, or that kind of information may be floating around.
Oh, true. And it's an Arcana check. Nice. Okay, I have proficiency in that. Sure. But yeah, I could. Oh, that's a shovel. I could maybe like just pedal back on the smith thing, just only do like weapons for important people or the party. Although I still have to find them, and then I guess I could take like a more quarter mastery role in regards to Broderick or logistics.
Oh yeah, that's a system as well that when you're on expeditions, you guys will have roles to take. So that's kind of be like that'll be like the role on the ship, like the quartermaster. So there's usually there's a navigator, and they're the one that makes survival checks as you go along. So we kind of divide up those roles before you leave. If you want to take a look at those again, they are in the journal section under expedition rules. There's a few rules there for how it works, and expedition roles. You'll see you have to click on actual expedition roles in there, but yeah. So a quartermaster. I mean, you're usually the crafter, but that would work on the ship, like keeping the ship repaired and things like that. You'll probably have to take on multiple roles depending on if I get another player for me. But there is also on the Browdevik domain sheet, you can look under downtime and you'll see all the establishments that you have in Browdevik and all the keeps and towers and temples. And you can use those things there. So like, for instance, if you spend a week working in the blacksmith, I think you earn 50 gold a week. So that's using earned revenue there. Or you could gather intel and rumors, and I'd say that could give you advantage on this lore check if you're trying to gather this info through like your father and through the smithing sort of community, because he might know where those kinds of things are located if you're looking for smithing stuff specifically.
I honestly think like the biggest issue regarding to the whole smithing thing is just like keeping track of what needs what I have, and stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna have to look at like ways of mitigating that.
Yeah, I think we can probably make a folder that's specifically for like these are your collections, because I'm sure putting it in your inventory can be a mess. Otherwise, we can make, there are containers, so you could have like a box on your character sheet.
Oh yeah, that could work.
Because that then you can actually remove things once you've used them.
Yeah, because like my first thought was to go full programmer mode and just like try and make a module for Foundry. But I mean, that could be a fun challenge, but probably wouldn't be stable for a while. So something like that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what is already. I mean, I'm running like 300 modules. We've probably got one.
One for Kibbler's crafting guide.
Well,
Yeah, I mean that I've got. Well, there's not. I'm not sure what you want the module to do exactly. But if you look under the journals, I think it is. I think there's the rules in there. There's crafting. There's a whole crafting folder.
I mean,
and then Kibble's crafting in there. It's got everything in the book.
yeah. Because like what I was thinking is just having like one centralized place where you could like one centralized interface where you could see how much ore of essences and whatever.
Oh, we do have that though. If you click on the actors tab, if you open the party overview.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, not party overview, party resource.
Yeah, okay, that could work, yeah.
I'm tracking them in there, so you should be able to see the ore, and so I've been adding those every time that you say that you use them. You'll just have to mention that when you use it.
Yeah, okay, we'll do.
I mean, you may have to correct me. I think they're right. I don't think you have any essences at the moment.
Or I think the only thing I have is like ore, because I haven't really farmed essences.
Oh, and also the thing I messed up with adamantine is processed mithril.
Okay.
It's not two different metals. It's you can turn mithril into adamantine. Baldur's Gate 3 taught this.
I see. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, you can look for mithril ore, but you won't find adamantine ore. I may have given you some ingots already, but that makes sense. But if I gave you adamantine ore, it's mithril.
I do in fact have 5 adamant ore.
Yeah, I've made that up and I was wrong.
Okay, I'll change the name to Mithril.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, nice.
And yeah, actually, to that point, you may both be interested as part of that, like around the tavern and stuff. The giant that was resurrected during the battle is also there, and you would overhear him telling his sob story, and like, well, not his sob story, but he would be talking to some of the people that are there at the longhouse about the history of Broudevik, and 100 years ago, none of this was here. We were fighting dragons and ensuring that you small folk could even inhabit these lands. And you'd hear him, Jorund, going on and on about how he was here 100 years ago. And you'd also hear him talking about how he wants to go back home. And you'll see there's another quest there from him, but you'd hear him sort of lamenting the fact that he's been dead for 100 years outside the tavern.
Jorund's homecoming. Well, that does sound interesting. Atrax. But I mean, I don't want to overextend. Like, can we? Because like, if I feel like if these are not done in a certain amount of time, they will be completed by themselves to some degree. Like, that's how real life works. And if we're going by that,
Yeah,
I
so
don't
there
know.
are some other people in Broudevik that generally, like, if you guys completely ignore a quest, there might be people that go out and complete those, or they might just not happen. But
Okay.
it depends. It may turn into a failed thing if it has a time limit, but I'll make that time limit quite clear if there is something that, like, you have to do this before, like, I'll give you some limit. But this, he's just been returned from the dead, and it's just like the day after, he's just saying how he wants to go home and see what's going on, and he's talking about how he misses feeling the cold of the frost forge against his skin. He wonders if it's even still operational.
That does sound pretty interesting.
Yeah, you can take multiple quests as well at the same time. You may end up in a place where you're like, oh shit, that's the guy that, like, oh, we picked up the bounty back in Broudevik, and then we just found this guy by accident. It can happen.
Yeah. Well, Atrax would kind of look at Mikhail and say, he said something about the forge. Would you be interested in finding out more? You seem like the type to be well equipped with these kind of things.
Obviously. Is that even a question?
All right. Well, I would actually go outside. I mean, Atrax would actually go outside and probably with Mikhail and try to find more about his quest, his requirements.
Yeah, he'd see you coming in. Look, hello, little Iron Man. I haven't seen your kind before. Fascinating.
Yes, with all sorts of different people. Sorry, go ahead.
Is Mikhail? Are you joining in?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, then he'll also, as he's sort of greeting you, saying, "You must be young Sven's son. I heard you are using the forge here. Dwarven make is very fine. I must respect it."
Yes, quite so.
How are you two enjoying the festivities? And he smiles down to both of you, just towering above you.
They were just as I have imagined them to be, wonderful in their own right after such a battle.
I think I nearly hit you with a bar stool earlier, Spencer.
Oh yeah, you did. Was that you? I was wondering who did that.
Yes, I think I left a few embedded in the ground there. May have gotten a little carried away, but I am glad to see that Browdovic hasn't lost its uh, sense of fun.
Yes.
Tell me, is there still such a problem with dragons around here, or did my old kin take care of them for good?
Ah, we haven't seen any dragons, no. I was a kitten, if you don't mind me asking.
Sorry, say again?
Kitten. Did you release a kitten?
Did I release a kitten?
Is that not what you said, or did I hear incorrectly?
I don't think that's what I said.
Oh, my my bad then.
Oh no, I said my kin,
Oh,
like
your
the
kin.
giants
Oh,
that used to
right.
my family. I've been dead for 100 years. I'm sorry if the language has changed. My common's a little rusty.
No, it's my fault. I only think of Smithies or cats. Those are my two only thoughts.
Oh well, I can see why you two are friends.
Atrax will chuckle. We've heard something about you wanting to return home. Is this a deep desire of yours?
Oh yes, well, I know it's been a long time. There's probably not much left. I'm sure my family has moved on, but I would like to return to Browder. It's just on the other side of the bay. I believe
Mm.
that's what this place is named after. It's at the base of Emir's Lash, back where the old Frost Forge was, well, used to be tended by me. Hopefully, it's not fallen into disrepair.
I kind of elbow Mikkel when I hear Frostforge. This is your domain.
Frostforge, you say? That sounds quite interesting.
Oh, yes, some of the finest giant weapons this side of Jotunheim were forged there. Dragon killing weapons and all kinds of blueprints that are scattered around there. I'm sure a good smith would love to make use of. I could reactivate it, if it has fallen into disrepair. It may take some time, but if you ever wanted to use it, I would be very grateful if you were to help me get back there and activate it.
You don't even need to ask twice. I definitely want you. Yeah, I want to help you if it means I get access to a legendary forge.
Oh, well, fantastic. And I'm sure if you could find the dwarves in the mountains, they would provide you with plenty of material and expertise as well. If they're still there, of course. I'm so confused as to what is still out there. I was wondering if I should make the trek alone, but in my current state, I'm not sure I could take on any dragons I run across. Not sure if the one in Reclamation Marsh is even still alive, but perhaps not. You haven't heard of them.
Oh, interesting. There was a dragon in Reclamation Marsh.
were a few dragons around here back in my day. 5 of them, in fact, but I believe I managed to take down 2 of them before I was killed, though I cannot say what happened after I died. I believe, however, the red and blue dragon were well and truly taken care of.
I see. Well, yeah, as Mikkel said, you see Atrax kind of waking up from a reverie. We will be more than happy to help you reach Brauda.
Fantastic. And I don't suppose you have a means of doing so? Or are you just suggesting to be a guide?
Out of character, sorry to interrupt. What would this entail exactly? Like, where would we need to take him?
Well,
Across the bay?
I'll open the big map again so you can see where Browder is. But you guys do have a longship, and it is also on the other side of the bay, basically, a little bit further north. But
Uh-huh.
yeah.
That's where Brauda is. Okay. Well, I would assume we could do that once we get to Flostavik. One way or another, we could also. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't. I'm thinking maybe it's possible.
Potentially. Is that we do after Frostbite?
Yeah, bear in mind, if you were going to sail to Flostavik, sailing straight across the bay, you would be sailing into the most sort of dangerous waters, just in terms of sailing. Like, those would be the deepest waters. The safest route would obviously be along the coastline, where you can see the sort of shipping route there. But it is, you aren't able to go into deep sea yet, but your ship is capable of traversing the bay.
I mean, I don't want to make the decision for everybody else, so my vote would be that yes, we can help and escort him to Brauda as much as he needs when the time is proper, like when we would have a chance to go there with some other business or in that direction. Maybe we can take a detour to Brauda and then come to Flostavik. I don't know.
He is also a giant, so he would take up the space that your unit would take up on your longship.
Yeah.
So currently, like, unless you were on a bigger longship, he's going to take up most of the room. But definitely, he could also, he'd be part of your crew. Having a giant on your ship might be a double-edged sword.
Would be wonderful, though. Yeah, like I said, I say we try and help him. If Mikkel has any other ideas, please do share, because I don't want to take the spotlight. I feel like already the session has been too much about Atrax, so I don't want to do the spotlight too much.
No, I think that's good. I mean, potentially, where exactly is Broda on the map? I don't. Oh, it's up
South,
there.
no, northwest.
Okay. I think it's fine if we do it after Flostavik. I mean, potentially we could stop like around here before we go down to Flostavik to get to Broda first. and try and complete it. But I don't know. I think that's a decision that should be taken with the larger group.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we can obviously come back to these things next week and finalize them. But if you guys would like to, because what we usually do when there's an expedition is you put down some waypoints. You divide the journey into waypoints and stretches. So you'll set a waypoint for the destination you want to reach, and that's usually where you'll stop and rest and like take a full rest. And then the stretches between those places are where you're doing your pretty regular adventuring. That's going to be like, you know, the encounters that you might have to deal with during the time that you're traveling. But if you want to try and like hit the reclamation marsh on the way and then sail up there, like we could put down some waypoints. And then everyone can see the route that you guys were kind of thinking of next week, and you can finalize it then.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
That stuff. Actually, I'm gonna have to drop off here. Sadly, I think the waypoint should be done next week when we're all gathered.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a math assignment in like 45 minutes. So just need to finish that shit up.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I mean, I did say we were going to end early anyway. So yeah, we can wrap things up there as you guys are plotting your course, and yeah, we can come back next week and finalize that. But then do remember, or maybe make a note of what we were discussing here so that you remember for next week.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make a note.
Thanks for the session.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Yep. See you.
Bye. Yeah. It was pretty nice. I have to admit, I wasn't. I was expecting more action after we've seen the brawl happening, but it was also very sweet to have like this. Not sweet, but kind of great to have this like more temperate moment in which we just discuss and make plans. It's nice to have both. So